It was a big win for the Patriots down in Miami over the Dolphins. Can they keep it going against the Steelers this week? Let's break it down. Welcome, everybody. It's Mike Dussault and Evan Lazar here to break down the Patriots' Week 3 matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Patriots coming off a big win against the Dolphins. Steelers coming off a tough loss to the Seahawks. Ev, they had that game kind of close down the end. I want to start with Aaron Rodgers, though. Future Hall of Fame quarterback. We've seen plenty of him over recent years, I guess, when he was with the Jets.
Yeah.
But, to me, I think the main thing I'm looking at, we've talked about it all week, pressure and getting pressure without blitzing. Aaron Rodgers, too smart to try to fool him with sneaky blitzes. Let's try to get after him with 4 guys. Is that a good plan?
Yeah, I think it is a good plan, and I'm excited for this one. I feel like the Patriots trying to build on what they did last week, especially offensively. I know we want to start defensively, but I feel like this is a game that can really get some momentum going for this Patriots team. And we're looking at that plan defensively. That's been the kryptonite against Aaron Rodgers through the first 2 weeks of the season is getting pressure on him, first of all, but also playing more man-to-man coverage and just getting him to hold the football. Right now, Rodgers, he wants to be in the gun. He wants to pick matchups out pre-snap and just distribute the ball as quickly as he possibly can. His sack avoidance, his escapability, that gene is kind of missing from his game at 41 years old. He doesn't move as well as he once did. So you look at the statistics. Right now, he's getting sacked on pressures at the 5th highest rate in the NFL. His pressure to sack rate is the 5th highest in the league through 2 weeks. So if you can get home and you can get him to hold the football and you can get pressure on Rodgers, then he's going down. So that's something that they can try to build on here.
Yeah, Rodgers facing the 9th most man coverage. The question, though, Christian Gonzalez back at practice this week. I don't know if he's going to make it out there onto the game field this week. Can the Patriots match up man-to-man with what they've got? I like Carlton Davis. I like his size. Maybe on DK Metcalf, that's a good matchup. But without Christian Gonzalez, you're not playing at full strength.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a concern for them the first couple weeks of the season. The Patriots right now in man coverage are giving up 11 yards per pass attempt in man coverage. That's not going to get it done. That's not what you're looking for. That's not the cat coverage that Mike Vrabel talked about all offseason, wanting to build this defense through. That was the vision. The vision was to play cat coverage, man-to-man. I got this guy, you got that guy, and they haven't been able to do that. So I agree with you. Carlton Davis on DK Metcalf is not a bad matchup. Marcus Jones on Calvin Austin, not a bad matchup. But the question that we both have, I think, is those running backs and tight ends. That's going to be tough. Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, Jalen Warren out of the backfield. Can the safeties and linebackers cover those guys?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it, especially, like you said, linebackers, safeties, getting them involved in the coverage. Flipping the ball on the other side, we're talking a lot about man and zone. And looking at Drake, I saw that, he's facing 83% zone coverage. Teams are playing zone, maybe they don't want to let him run. But is that something that the Steelers don't really do? They play a lot of man coverage. They like to blitz. So is this going to be a unique challenge for Drake Maye this week in terms of, maybe there's a little more Pop Douglas. He's got some separation ability. We saw him last week. Zone-heavy team Miami, they pulled back a little bit on his snaps. But, trying to figure out the blitz and how to beat man coverage. This could be a new challenge for Drake this week.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think that he's finally going to see some man-to-man because I'm sure it's driving him a little bit nuts that he's seeing all this zone. He has 11 eyes on him at all the time. He can't really run. He can't really create off script because everybody's just got eyes in the backfield and trying to keep him in the pocket and make him dice you up like Tom Brady used to, right? And that's just... It's not that he can't do that, but it's just not his game necessarily. And I would love to see him be able to get out of the pocket a little bit more, get off platform, and make all those plays that we know he can make as an off-script artist. So if you play more man coverage, you got 5-6 guys turning their back to the quarterback, running down the field, and now all of a sudden things really open up, and it's a good shout with Pop Douglas. Maybe potentially Kyle Williams could get going with their speed and their dynamic route running ability. That might be a better fit if they play more man-to-man versus playing zone defenses.
Yeah, and don't forget about Stephon Diggs. I mean, that guy can still run some routes. He can get open quick. He's been a key piece for Drake. Couple, got-to-have-it moments these first 2 games. He's looking Diggs' way. Just to highlight some of Pittsburgh's defense, though, there's a lot of talent up front. We know Cameron Hayward's been there forever. TJ Watt somehow doesn't have a sack yet. I don't think that's going to last very long. And then in secondary, Jalen Ramsey had a nice interception last week. There is talent on this team, but when you look at the sum of the parts, they're not quite adding up. You mentioned, in the past, Tom Brady, Josh McDaniels, they had a beat on this defense. They go to the air early and often. Of course, you remember that big play in 2004, throwing it down the field to Deion Branch a couple times. Is that in the mix today? And everyone wanted to crown Drake last week as like his coming out party, but I'm starting to think that this might be an opportunity for him to really let loose in the passing game as well as with his legs. And this might even, to me, has the potential to be even more of a defining game for Drake Maye, especially at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look at the familiarity on both sides with this Pittsburgh coaching staff. Arthur Smith, their offensive coordinator, was Mike Vrabel's offensive coordinator in Tennessee for 2 years. So Mike Vrabel is going to know him inside and out. And the Patriots, no matter what they've looked like, have always seemed to have the book on the Pittsburgh defense, whether it was Mac Jones in 2022, Bailey Zappi in 2023 on that Thursday night game, and then, of course, the GOAT, going back to the Brady days. But they always seem to have a formula of how to beat this Mike Tomlin defense. So they play a lot of man-to-man, like we've talked about. They play a lot of post-safety coverage, just the single high safety up top. So first couple weeks, the Jets and the Seahawks, it's just crossing routes. Like they're just running crossing routes on them to death. They actually both hit the same play, exact same formation for touchdowns from outside the red zone.
What's
both
that teams, called?
Yankee concept, of course. And they beat them both times on it. So like that's the book right now on Pittsburgh. And you mentioned their talent though, and you can't take that for granted. Like they have 5 Pro Bowlers over there on that defense. Cam Hayward, TJ Watt. Alex Highsmith has not made a Pro Bowl. I don't know if he's going to play on Sunday, but he's super underrated too. Ramsey, of course. So you look at all these players that they have, it feels like the Pittsburgh defense should be better than what they have been for the first 2 weeks of the season. So let's just hope they don't get right against the Patriots on Sunday.
I mean, you mentioned a little of the trends, Evan. I mean, the Patriots, unfortunately, since 2022 are 7-19 at home, which is the worst home record in the NFL. And yet, as you also mentioned, they're 2-0 against the Steelers in that same time. It doesn't quite all add up. And again, there's some great matchups. 2001 AFC Championship, 2004 AFC Championship. Pittsburgh's kind of a do-what-they-do team, but I want to look
still trying to find Chris Hogan, by the way.
Right? He had the cloak of invisibility, as we like to say around here. But let's just focus lastly on the Patriots. And, offense, defense, really liked what we saw out of the team last week on the offensive side of the ball with the balance they were able to maintain. I don't know if they're going to be able to maintain that balance this week, and I don't know if it matters if Drake is on and he's hitting those throws. And on defensively, I'm looking at tackling. Pittsburgh has the same kind of problems, but those guys are tough to bring to the ground. We heard Mike Vrabel talk about tackling this week. Those are kind of my 2 keys on those 2 sides of the ball. And the last one, I just think the blitz is going to be a big part of this game. If the Patriots have to blitz Aaron Rodgers, they might be in trouble. And Drake Maye on the other side of the ball has to handle the blitz.
Yeah, it's good points. I think the biggest thing to me about this game is, can they repeat what they did offensively down in Miami? And I think one of the reasons why I'm so excited to watch this game is because I think they can. Like, I think it was repeatable what they did, the script that they called, the bootlegs, the moving pockets that they used Drake Maye on, the outside zone and the duo sequencing from under center in the run game. Just that ability to sequence, run and play action and get Drake going like that. It feels like they should be able to do that against the Steelers again this week. So sometimes in the past couple of years, they've had these one-off offensive games or they've had really good game plans and they've come out and they played good offense, but it didn't ever feel like they were getting any momentum on that side of the ball where like this was going to be a consistent thing that we see every single week. And I really feel like they can build on what they did against Miami. This Steelers defense has kind of been in shambles, frankly, for the first couple weeks of the season. They're giving up more explosive plays than any defense in the NFL through 2 weeks. So if you kind of have a Steelers defense that's a little bit on the ropes right now, and you have a Patriots offense that's coming off maybe the best game they've ever played since Drake Maye took over as the quarterback, and it's kind of one of those situations where like let's get it right, like let's take it right now and start to really build on what they did down in Miami. So it's exciting. I feel like this is the first time in a while where I've been like truly excited to see what the Patriots offense brings.
Yeah, and I'm sure the fans will be excited here at Gillette Stadium this weekend. Be sure to tune into the Patriots pregame show. It'll start at 11:45 and then kickoffs at 1 o'clock. It's going to be a big one. We'll see you then.